basically I've decided to start out like a little healing diary series, I guess. Basically, in so many words, every single lunchtime I am gonna, at work, Monday to Friday, I'm gonna film one and then release it the following day, and then maybe on the weekends I'll do a live. We'll see. By the way, if it's really noisy, it's because I thought I was coming out to go get some peace and quiet. Turns out I was coming out to just sit by a main busy road. Normally it isn't this busy, it's just because I've decided to film that it's decided to be busy. A mental health series, because I have a lot of messages in my private DMs on here and on Instagram, basically in so many words, telling me that they're going through like similar things, telling me that what they've personally been through, and I just thought it would be easier, rather than me replying to loads and loads and loads of individual people, when I could actually just respond on one big video, and in that way everybody is getting a response. And I thought I could just like touch down on lots of different subjects if I do it as like a series sort of thing. Start from the beginning, like how I coped in the first initial stages of my breakup, like what was my thought process, what did I do like moving forward, like coming out of it. So yeah, I thought let's do that as episode 1. How did I feel in the first few days? I genuinely felt as though the world was coming to an end. I genuinely felt as though nothing in my life was worth living for anymore. I wasn't going to be able to cope without having this person, my second half there, to help me keep going on with life and to just tackle every day-to-day life together. Like, I just genuinely at this point was at an utter loss, genuinely couldn't see anything moving forward. I just genuinely couldn't see anything, as I couldn't see my future without him. And that was a very scary place to be, because I genuinely was at that stage in my mind where I didn't want to live without this person. I didn't want to continue without this person. I didn't know how to continue without this person. Like, I had built up such a life around this person. And in those first few days, it's like, looking back now, it's made me realise how much I was living for somebody else and not living for myself. Because coming out of it, I didn't know how to live alone again. And that was that hit me hard. Like, these months down the line, it hit me hard that actually I was so petrified to live without this person that actually it made me realise I'd built my life around this person rather than around the two of us. So I almost had lost my own identity and just became a we, rather than a me and him, and a we collectively. It was literally just my life was him, and that wasn't his fault. That was we were both as equally to blame as each other. Like, we both probably were exactly the same in some aspects. I can imagine perhaps it was the same for him. I can't speak for him and say that it was, so I'm not going to say that, but I can only imagine, because we both lived the same life, that it probably was very similar. It's a real hard hitter coming out of my relationship. A couple of days down the line, I just couldn't live without him. If I were to get into another relationship ever moving forward, obviously in my head I cannot think of anything worse at the moment, because I'm not at that healed stage yet. That's why we're doing it as a series. But if I were to get into a relationship again at some point, I now know that I cannot give up my entire identity and my entire life, and remember to keep myself during relationships. Like, I am a giver as a person, and I will literally, if I'm in love with you, I will give you my everything. Obviously made me realise a lot in terms of like moving forward, like that I'd obviously just put so much into this relationship. It's the same with my friendships, not just romantic relationships, it's the same with my friendships. Like, I just put so much into them that I almost just forget entirely about myself, to be honest. And I think it's really important moving forward that you learn from these things, and obviously it's lovely to do those things, but it is also really important to kind of like focus on you and remember yourself moving forward as well, because I think it's very easy down that rabbit hole of just them. So then when you come out of it, you're like, who am I? Like, who am I now? Because that's what I felt like. And I felt like I almost had to completely find myself again, or completely recreate myself again, which I feel like is what I'm doing. I feel like I'm definitely recreating myself again as a better version of myself. And I think that is also a really good thing as well, like coming out of these sort of things, is sometimes you live and you learn, and sometimes it does change you as a person. You've just got to make sure that it changes you as a person in the positive way and in the right way. So that's how I feel. I feel like at the moment, like, I am changing as a person, but in such a good way. And I feel like I've grown, and I am continuing to grow as a person in such a positive way. So yeah, stay tuned, because we're going to keep doing lots of different episodes, lots of different theories, and yeah. I hope this episode has been helpful, but I just feel as though like we all need this. And when I was going through the first few days or the first few weeks or months or whatever, I would have needed to see stuff like this to keep me in a positive mindset, because we will get through it even when it feels like you won't. So I really hope this has helped.